I banned my father from meeting my kids after he chose his new family over mine for 15 years. My dad remarried when I was 10. My mom had died from cancer a year before and he moved fast. His new wife Claire had 2 kids, both younger than me, and the second they moved in, I became invisible. Dad missing my soccer games because Claire's son had baseball. Skipping my concerts because Claire's daughter had dance recitals. He always promised he'd make the next one. He never did. When I turned 13, I wanted to try out for the travel soccer team. I brought the forms to Dad during dinner, and Claire interrupted to talk about furniture. Dad listened to her for 30 minutes. When I tried again, he said we'd talk later. We never did. The deadline passed. I got a job at 15 and paid for everything myself. Claire's kids got new phones, laptops, a Disney trip I wasn't invited to. For my high school graduation, Dad promised he'd be there. The morning of, Claire called saying her daughter was sick. I walked across that stage alone. Dad sent a text saying congratulations. I went to college 2 hours away, came home maybe twice a year. He never called. I graduated, got married, started my life. Dad came to my wedding but left early because Claire wasn't feeling well. When my wife got pregnant 3 years ago, I told him he was going to be a grandfather. He said that's great, then spent 20 minutes talking about Claire's son getting into law school. My daughter Emma was born, and Dad visited once when she was 3 months old. Stayed an hour, spent it on his phone, left. When my son was born last year, I didn't tell him. He found out through Facebook 2 weeks later. Last month, Dad called. He was planning a family dinner and wanted me to bring the kids. I asked when the last time he saw my daughter was. He went quiet. She's 3 years old, Dad. You've met her once. He said he'd been busy, that he wanted to make up for it now. You chose Claire's family over me for 15 years. You missed every important moment. Now you want to meet my kids because it's convenient? He said blending a family is hard. Your best was missing my graduation. Your best was spending an hour with your granddaughter and never coming back. He got defensive. You pulled away. You stopped coming around. I pulled away because every time I reached out, you chose them. Claire got on the phone. Your father wants to be in your children's lives and you're punishing him for old mistakes. I told her she doesn't get an opinion. She's the reason he stopped being my father. She said I chose to distance myself. I hung up. Dad's been calling every day. Voicemails saying my kids deserve to know their grandfather, that I'm being selfish. My wife thinks I should let him meet them once. My brother-in-law says I don't owe him anything. Dad texted yesterday saying Claire's planning a party for her grandson and wanted to invite my kids so the cousins could meet. I texted back, they're not cousins. Your stepson's kids aren't related to mine. He called immediately, yelling about how I was being cruel, how family is family. I told him he had 15 years to be my father and chose not to. He doesn't get to be their grandfather now.